Hello everyone, this is a continuation of my old video, not my old video, the previous video. I was very sick, I had to step away to try to eat some food and rest. But now I have here with me Delvon and our dog Shortcake that has not been introduced to the world yet. We adopted Shortcake when Booker T. Little was having his cancer stitches taken out, and we had adopted her to be there for both Booker and for me. My goal is to have Shortcake. We adopted her at 2 months old, so we've had her for a while already. She's like almost 7 months now. The goal is to actually get her trained so she can help with my health, because we don't know why I keep on going in and out of consciousness and things like that, so that she would be a medical dog. So that is a goal. Just can't do it. It's so expensive. She's still young, so hopefully we have time to be able to figure that out. Anyway, this is very hard to actually do a video like this. I hate being in front of a camera. I absolutely hate it. My guys always try to get me on stage and call me out, and I don't want to be in front of the camera. Everything I do is for my guys. I can direct them, I can help them. I've managed the entire freaking band doing everything, but I cannot do something when it has something to do with me personally. And it's very hard to also ask for help. It's almost impossible. So like I said, we've been needing help for a long time, since the pandemic, and even more so the beginning of last year. Like I said in the last video, when our guitar player's fingertip was sliced off, and I had to take every single penny in our bank to actually get him the care that he needed. And then for us to be able to have to get back, go on the road, because people didn't want us to cancel any shows or reschedule shows, and we ended up having to go to Europe. We went on a Europe tour with absolutely no money, and then to come back and then have to go right back into another Europe tour immediately with absolutely no money again, and my guys being over there without knowing where they're going to be going next. It was like extremely stressful for me. I haven't been able to be on the road now for quite a while. A lot of people will know I've always been on the road and been to every single show with my guys. I was forced to sit there and take myself away from everything. My doctor said I had to remove stress from my life completely or it's going to kill me. And to be able to try to remove stress from your everyday life when there are things that you need, when you can't get doctors to figure out what's wrong with you. The stress was so bad that my teeth were falling apart because I had TMJ so bad. I had to have several surgeries there, fixing all my teeth, in and out of doctors and hospitals, getting COVID, which with my immune system being completely shot, I get very sick. I had to have my son be the tour manager, have him go on the road for me while I was at home trying to take care of myself, taking surgeries and doing that kind of stuff. We've lost so many tours. Since the pandemic, we lost, what, a year and a half of tours? Absolutely no money, zero. Our household alone lives 100% off of music. So when the pandemic happened, we have zero money coming in. Absolutely nothing. And because I worked for free on my own accord, because I decided to build this band and all that stuff and invest into it, all the money that came in went right into the band to be where we are today. Well, I guess today's not a fair thing to say because we don't have nothing again. But it's a lot. I put so much stress on myself, and I worked 24/7 for several years, which also took a toll on me. And then sitting there and not paying myself purposely, this amount of stress that I dealt with on a day-to-day basis, all of this stuff continued to take a toll on me. And when you end up in a pandemic, which who would have ever thought that, you know, your body forgets how sick it is. I've been sick way before Delvon and Lamarr Organ Trio. My health has been bad for a long time. That's the only reason why I was able to take over my husband's career and start the band, was because I was unable to work. But with Delvon and Lamarr Organ Trio, I was able to choose my own hours, which ended up being 24/7. But anyway, this is a desperate plea for help. We hate asking for this. We don't want to ask for help. But for us to be able to even continue Delvon and Organ Trio, we need money because all my capital for the business is gone. Nothing. We have nothing. Not just that, the health, because of my health, I haven't been able to keep us on the road because it's my work to be able to have us go play music on the road. I need to be able to function. I need to be able to work. I tried hiring people, but I can't afford to pay other people. Because at least I was working for free. So there's another source of money that has to go out. It was almost impossible, and it created more stress on me, more stress. My guys being out there, things not being able to be done. The amount of work that it takes to do what I do on the back end that people just don't know or see is tremendous. And when you're very, very sick and you have so many different chronic illnesses and doctors can't figure out what's going on, that also just added on to my stress and my worry, and I've been forced to sit there and not work because we have to figure out what's wrong. I'm having a lot of complications with untreated illnesses, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, lupus. They think that my nerves are shot, which is probably sending false signals throughout my body. Those are just a few. Fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, a bone spurs throughout my whole back. I have several specialists right now. I see an endocrinologist. I have hypoglycemia that's untreated. My blood sugars are dropping down to 29, or it's going really high up, in the 200s for me, but it makes me very, very sick. My pulse is shooting up really, really high. I can't eat foods. I haven't been able to eat for a long time. Every time I eat, we didn't know what it was. I may have an idea now. I lost consciousness last year while driving on a highway, ended up on the side of the road, waking up to see myself like almost about to hit a mile marker, to correct myself and end up facing oncoming traffic. Going in and out of consciousness, like what's going on with me? I do believe I've figured it out. I think it has something to do with my hypoglycemia, and maybe that's why I'm going out of consciousness, because my brain scan was normal, my sleep study was not, but there's a lot of things, and this stress is not helping me, and I want us to get back on the road. I will be back on the road in March, and I'll explain a little bit to you about that in a minute. I'm going to try to keep the video short. It's hard to keep a video short because there's a lot of details. And my husband's doing an amazing job to try to do the best he can. He's not good with social media. He absolutely hates it. For us to say thank you to everyone, which I said in my last video, it's hard for him. Me, I can't be on social media. It stresses me out. There's a lot of people that say things that aren't true. There are a lot of people that say things that they don't understand. And I can't subject myself to absolutely anything. I can't even work, do emails, take phone calls, take messages. Because even if it's something that's considered like not a bad thing, and somebody says something that's nice, can literally still cause stress within my body. Because what I want to do is to be back to what I was doing all these years, which is going out there and being out there, meeting each and every one of you, and trying to heal the world through music, and having my husband be out there doing what he's meant to do. We're in a very dire situation. I had to sit there and force us to move out of Washington State because our lease was about to be up. We lived in Spokane during the pandemic, and we were given 3 weeks to move. 3 weeks to move when we had absolutely no money. And my credit dropped from 800 to 497, which a lot of you are aware. Chase Bank kind of screwed me over with my business bank. So what do you do when you have to move in 3 weeks? Your credit score is 497 and you have absolutely no money. Who's going to take you? Everybody understands what was going on at that time. What was a lot of people able to do? We were forced to move into a house that was twice the amount of rent from what our rent was in Spokane. So now here we're living in a place where we have no money and our rent is twice as much. Secondly, the landlord was raising the rent every single year. Again, he was going to raise the rent in July. I had no choice but to tell my husband we're moving, and we had to move out of Washington State. who has the money to move out of Washington State, let alone just move across the street. We sat there and we put half of our house was put up at a garage sale to try to sell as much as we could just to even make the move. We had no money. Delvon hasn't been able to do a lot of work because I can't do my job. So we tried to sell as much as we could, but we had a lot of problems at the garage sale because there's these laws in Pullman that you can't put your garage sale signs up. They removed them all. We were forced to move it another week out. Delvon's on the road. Me and my son are trying to do the move. I'm very, very ill. I can barely do anything, and the weather was so severely hot. And my son was diagnosed with fatty liver disease, so he's in a lot of pain. Anyway, we barely made any money from our garage sale. I literally could not sit there and take the rest of the stuff that was there with us because the moving company decided to scam us, and we didn't have enough money for them to take all our stuff. So I literally had to go on social media and put up all our stuff for low-income families or anybody that needed anything. Please just come take the stuff away from us for free. And still we had way too much stuff for us to afford to be able to move. We had 2 other cars and we had to get rid of them for free and still not make money off of those. So here we are with 1 car, which is only our touring vehicle. So we had to put a little bit of stuff into storage, and then we had to drive from Washington State to Indiana. And when we got here, Delvon had to turn around just a couple of days later to go do a couple of shows. When he got back, we had to drive back to Seattle for me to have procedures at the hospital, and then grab more stuff. Then we had to go back again and again. But during those times, these are some of the major things that happened to us that help you with financial to understand. Well, first, Booker T's cancer surgery. He had cancer in 2020, which you guys were so grateful to help us. And then he had cancer again last year. And they wanted to amputate his leg. We couldn't afford it, but they were able to remove the big mass from his leg. Unfortunately, Booker T just passed away November 15th. It just happened all of a sudden, and we think that it could be that maybe his cancer was spreading throughout his body and took him immediately. That was an emergency vet bill that cost us several $1,000s. Also, when we moved here, our touring van, the transmission went out after we moved here, several $1,000s. Then after that, when we sat there and we've had to go back to Seattle a couple of times for health, for doctors, for me, on our way driving to Seattle, that was on the way for a Jazz Alley, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were on the way to drive to Seattle for a Jazz Alley show. And we started having problems with what was going on with the van.
It was having an engine misfire. Something happened with the engine.
And we were almost to Seattle to our location, so we had an Airbnb for us to go to for my procedure and stuff. And so we had to literally go straight to Firestone?
Yeah.
I think it was Firestone. Thank goodness the guy decided, the manager or whatever, said he was going to stay open because they literally were closed. But they understood the severity of our situation. So we had to sit there and go put our van into the shop, which we didn't have money for again. And we had to extend our Airbnb. We had to get a rental car, which we also didn't have money for, and stay there longer just to even get that fixed. And I had a procedure. Well, that wasn't actually Jazz Alley. That was a different time. There's so many incidences that have happened. So, anyway, so there was more money. Several $1,000s again. Again, we're barely working. And the money, the little bit of shows that we do have, has to pay for the expenses. The expenses are really, really high because we're not playing a lot of shows. The more shows you play, your expenses are higher, but the more money you're making. So really kind of hard to explain the financial side. I can help people later, but I'm not going to do that now to just kind of save on time. When we played in Paris, I went with the guys because we were going to be on France TV, and I was sick in France. On our way back from France, it was just one show. On our way back from France, we had a layover in Iceland. I was unable to fly, and I ended up being severely sick in Iceland. I did not know at the time, but it was complication from ulcerative colitis, which is an untreated disease that I was diagnosed during the pandemic. Never had the doctors to get the help I needed. When we got back from Iceland, which that cost us a lot of money, right? Because our flight, we were not able, I was deemed for my doctor not to be able to go and fly. So we had to extend our Iceland trip, which cost us a lot of, Iceland is not cheap, by the way, if you don't know this. Then we had to get new flights because they refused to, was it Iceland Air?
Yeah.
Iceland Air would not let us,
move our
ticket. So I was forced to get us new tickets. And I'm not strong enough to fight for this stuff. So me, I'm the kind of person, I will fight for it and get my money back. So we're literally losing money because I'm the only one that handles all of this stuff. When you're the only person that handles all the bills and all the problems, and then, for the family, for yourself, for everybody else, and for the band, and for the business, but you become very, very ill, and you're not able to do anything, you're kind of screwed. I'm screwed, and I don't know how to explain this. Anyway, so I don't know how to explain so not only, and right now our vehicles stopped working because something with the battery. So I have doctors to go to tomorrow, and we barely have money to go to get an Uber, and food is so expensive, and I can barely eat, so we always have to have some kind of food. I have hypoglycemia, so I have to have food. My health, I have to have food, but then every time I try to eat, I get very, very sick. I could barely move. I live pretty much on this couch. Every time I try to go to shows with my guys, I end up in the hospital. We played 4 shows at Jazz Alley and ended up in the hospital after that. Came back to Indiana, ended up in urgent care. I just got out of the hospital. I just ended up going to urgent care the other day. Delvon covered a show for my client's Calm Climb. So Nicholas Kazonos was just in the hospital. So I said, let Delvon fill his place. And then I had to go to urgent care, and they're like, well, you gotta go to the ER. So I didn't want nobody to know. So I went with Delvon to go play this show, and right after the show at midnight, we had to go straight to the emergency room. And I have to have, I need to see a gastroenterologist right away, and I need a colonoscopy right away, and I have 8 specialists that I have to see, and it's very hard for me to do my own, to even do my referrals and to do the help I need because I'm so weak. I can barely move. To answer phone calls, to do emails, to cook, to clean, to take care of myself, to do something so simple is so hard. Anyway, okay. So, how dire this situation is so the money you guys have given us first, we really are so appreciative, but our situation is so bad because it's not just us personally that this move and all this money we've lost with Booker T passing, that just was the icing on the cake, we just lost every dollar, and the bills don't stop, and your business doesn't stop. Even though we're not playing to run a business, it still goes through all of everything's automatic. We've already used all our credit cards over this year, sitting there just trying to help us make it every day. Every one of our credit cards are maxed out. So you know that we call it your finance, your percentage that you pay on the credit cards.
Finance interest?
Your interest, it just keeps on accruing. So we're over, all of our credit cards were over. So every time we keep on paying. So December we had to find ways to pay rent. We had to sit there and find ways to pay towards the credit cards. We're missing all these payments. Our scores are like terrible. And so we can't even get help. We can't even go get a loan for anything because both our credits are terrible. And all the money you guys have done is like helped us to go and pay towards the credit cards 1 month. So that's like, and they're having us pay big chunks. So it's like 500 and something for each credit card. Plus we have loans out there that we got to pay on. I have people that I owe money to that also been loans or for services or things like that they've done that I just don't have the means. Not because you don't want to, but because you just don't have the means to do it. And then that's more stress on my body. And then the medical, I have to pay for all these prescriptions, traveling back and forth to Seattle. We just can't do that anymore. Finally trying to start over with new doctors here has been absolutely terrible. The moving company stole our stuff. So all the stuff I bought for my major surgery and for my health, I don't even have it anymore because they took it. And I wasn't even strong enough to fight for that. There's so much more. We've lost so much money. I had to cancel so many tours. And financially, the amount of tours you have to cancel because of COVID twice. Big tours, these aren't little tours. That's a lot of money. So I lost out on expenses on those. Plus our income, lost out on that. And then a death in one of our members in our band had a death in his family, had to cancel a tour in the middle of Europe. Another major drop. Oh my gosh, I lost so much money even with that. Lost money with merch because of all these COVID. Massive 10, 20, over $20,000 that I had lost prior there, you know, the overall, and not to go through anything specific and breaking down the money. But my medical bills, about $100,000 in debt, just keep on occurring. I have to pay 20% of everything everywhere I go. Plus I gotta pay for my prescriptions, you know. We have the dog, she can't even take her to the vet. She just ate through my antibiotic. I keep on getting bacterial infections. My antibiotic and then the stomach spasm medicine they gave me for my ulcerative colitis from the ER. She chewed through the bottles. Don't even have the money to go back and get that. I did refill the amoxicillin. It just keeps on going on and going on and going on. So we've lost years and years of income, and when that's your only form of income, and we want to be back on the road. And Delvon's going stir crazy, but he has to be here because I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't have nobody here to help me. It looks like what's going on, probably the reason why I blacked out while driving has to do with my hypoglycemia. It's dangerously low. I was supposed to be in the ER. Call 911. My blood sugar goes down to 29, or who knows even if it goes lower. I'm running out of my supplies even just to check my blood sugar, and I'm non-diabetic, and my blood sugar keeps on going really high for reasons we don't know. My pulse is getting really high, even when I'm just sitting here and watching TV with Delvon, up to in the 130s when I'm just resting, not doing nothing. And whatever's going on with my ulcerative colitis is pretty severe. So they said that I ended up getting travel colitis because when I was traveling, and it's not getting better. And we don't know. I have like endocrinologist. I have I'm on a Holter monitor, which I think I said that on my last video. There's a lot going on. But right now I have to be able to get to these doctors, and I have to be able to get to these hospitals. I need to get my colonoscopy. Here we're sitting there with a 10-day, which ends on the 18th of this month from the landlord. And it's like legal. Like on the 18th, if we don't pay our rent, like they're filing, what is it? A lawsuit. I have an appointment on Tuesday to sit there and try to go and get help from the trustee, because Indiana's a little different than Washington State. But you have to wait for an appointment. Shut-off notices for our utilities. I had to call them. It's hard for me to do that. Delvon doesn't know how to do this stuff. not because, you know, he doesn't want to.
It's not my field
He
of
just not. He
expertise.
doesn't. He tries, you know. But Delvon needs to be playing music.
I don't have
And we need to
patience.
be on the road. He tries and he doesn't know what to say. And it's hard because I'm so weak and so my energy has to be put towards whatever. Like getting up to cook. He finally is cooking and cleaning. But it took him a long time to get to that. Ask his family. Delvon doesn't do that. We've been together 18 years. He's good at it, by the way. So when he does
I'm a pretty good cook, apparently. This is new for me. So.
But it's hard for him because, you know, a lot of people know it's not easy sitting there cooking and cleaning all day long. And my health is like, I can't even explain. My immune system's really low. We don't know what's going on. I've been diagnosed with so many things: Candida, Epstein-Barr. I don't even know what that is. Fibromyalgia, lupus. I have untreated lupus. I have so many things. I can't even list it because we can't keep up with it. But I have all new doctors and everything's amazing. So, but it took me a long time because we moved here. It was really hard for me to go back and start all over with my health again. And losing your doctors over there, and now you don't have nobody. Anyway, so I'm gonna put us back on the road in March. There's already gonna be some shows that are gonna be listed. It's very hard for me to do my work. I have a company who can help me, but I can't even afford to pay them. How do you hire people and get them to help you when you can't afford to even pay your own stuff? We want to be out there to play for you guys, and I'd rather be out there. Me being at home makes me even worse. So I want to be out there, and I'm gonna start being out there in March again. I don't care about my health. At that point, I will still be taking care of my health, but I have to be out there because me being here is not who I am. I'm a people person. I need to be out there and doing that. That's what I want to do. It actually makes me feel better, and my doctors even realize that. But I mean, and you know, it's not good on him. He wants to play, right? How does making you feel?
Yeah, I don't really like being at home. I just want to put a couple of things in perspective, and a lot of people don't know this or realize this, but and I'm talking from the music standpoint. This is she covered all the medical. I don't really have a leg to stand on there, but when we do these tours, we pay for them up front. We have to have the money to pay for these tours to do them. Nobody pays for that stuff for us. We do that. And I think that's a thing that people, I know for a fact, people don't understand that. Is like, you know, what we have to do. And, you know, like hotels, trains,
per day.
Airplanes, the flights to and from wherever, especially like going to Europe. Like those flights going to and from Europe, it costs a lot. We have flights within Europe. We have train, global passes, all that stuff. Food, you know, it costs a lot of money. I handle the travel for this band, and it's really expensive and really complicated. But yeah, I just wanted to, I don't know, say that.
Well, a good example, you know, if everybody looked at our tour schedule, I worked this pretty hard. I had to, in order for us to be where we're at. You got to put in your time, and we did, and we loved it. We loved it. You know, I'm an old school hustler. You got to be out there, and you got to be out there with your people and work your butt off. As a matter of fact, work your ass off. And we were all willing to do that. We didn't have a problem. We actually loved it. We preferred being on the road, you know. And we drove all over the United States, and we'd go to Europe and be in Europe for 2 months, 3 months. We'll start taking you guys on the road with us so everybody can start seeing what we do. This is not easy. That's why when people come and they want to be part of our band, they think it's going to be all fun, but it's not. This is a lot of hard work. This is a career for us. Me and Delvon built this together, you know, by ourselves. We invested everything, all our time, you know, our bodies, our mind. And that may kind of sound wrong when you say your body, but it is. It's torture on your body, you know, but it's worth every part of it. The reward of what you do for everybody musically and see people's faces and how they feel. And without your fans, you're nothing. There's amazing, talented musicians all over the world that don't get to do what we do. And it's so much work. I had no idea. Delvon warned me before I took over the band. Not took over the band, but started the band. I started this band from scratch. This was my baby. Like, I built this band from the ground up. And I don't follow what anybody does in the industry. People can go and try to tell you that, oh, I told Amy this, I taught her this. And just because I talk to you doesn't mean I do what you say. I am not a person that will ever follow what anybody tells me to do. I purposely am very rebellious. I have built this band off of how I want to do it to keep me and our band as genuine and as authentic as possible. And this, a lot of hard work. It's based off of passion and drive. So if anybody's going to give credit to anybody, I will be the one to give credit to those who have helped me, if they have. And it'll be out of my own mouth. So, and also there's people out there that don't know anything about me, my whole life. I'll share this stuff with you guys later. I've been through so much in my entire life. Nobody knows me. Not even my husband, my friends, my family know everything about me. But you know quite a bit. And he's experienced quite a bit. Which will explain one day, you guys will understand, and you'll see why I do what I do. You'll see why I've been sick. Throughout this band, I've gone through menopause. I've almost died a few times, and menopause is pretty bad. You can ask Delvon on that, and the guys.
Not fun.
I do have to say that our guitarist was very understanding, and because his mom had gone through it, so he was very kind and understood. But it was hard because I couldn't be on any medicine because of lupus. It was very hard. I've gone through a burnout for over a year. We don't even know. Like, I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. What was wrong with me? I'm a workaholic to the point now I can't do anything. What's wrong? And I was so mad at myself. And I had to learn to let everyone go. So all of you all that have been trying to get a hold of me, sending me emails, messaging me, you know, doing all this stuff, and you don't hear from me, I am truly apologetic in a way. But in another way, I was not allowed to. The doctors pulled me from everything and anyone. If my doctor even wanted me out of my own house, away from my husband and everyone. That's how bad my health has been. The stress alone has pretty much almost has killed me. So, again, I can't go through everything. There's so much more that we could share with you guys. But I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for everything. It's really hard to put this in such a video and a short video. And I'm sorry I keep on trying to wait till I feel better so I can thank you guys. And it's hard. It's hard because I don't feel good all the time. I don't look like I'm sick. But I'm very, very, very sick. What I can focus on is my mind, my emotions, my spiritual side. And that's why I went to the retreat. It's not a retreat. It's a 10-day meditation, no talking course that I've done before of Vipana meditation. A lot of people are aware of it. And even when I was there, I was really sick with my heart, my pulse, and my blood sugar. And even the teacher there sat there and said that I need to go to a doctor. And that it's okay that sometimes you're going to need medicine. I still benefited, but I need doctors. I need help. So we're going to be back on the road in March, no matter what. And we're going to be full-time. I got a lot of shows to announce for you guys. I'm kind of working whatever I can when I can. For all the venues, for all the promoters, for our amazing booking agency, Curling Agency. I don't even think they understand how grateful I am for them. They've been massively supportive. And for all those that have stuck around. And I'm sorry that I'm not on top of my game, being able to be there and do everything. You know, anybody that when you guys see we have a show, please share. It's hard for me. If I can pay this company so they can help me, I would. But I don't have the money. So it's only me, and you don't even have me. So that means we don't have much, right? But I'm working very hard to get help. But we need to get to these doctors, or I'm no good for anyone. And Delvon's not going to be able to go on the road. So we need money to be able to get on the road. We need money just to make it at least until the middle of March, which is all our utilities, all our bills, doctors, food. Delvon needs a biopsy. The doctor, his foot doctor, he needs a biopsy. The doctor said that's anywhere from $400 to $1,200. We don't have medical insurance for him. My insurance transferred, but his didn't. So we need to get him insurance, and they're trying to rush it so we can get the biopsy, see what's wrong with his feet. So during this downtime, we're just trying to take care of our health. So when we get back on the road, you guys don't have to worry about, we're never going to cancel no more shows. We'll be there no matter what. We want to be on the road. We want to be there for you guys. And we are ready to be back on there full time. I plan on bringing some female players on board. We don't need to be a sausage fest all the time, you know? I can't wait to introduce some of the females that we're going to be bringing on. We're rotating artists because we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to be able to have time off and be able to be part of other projects, because we do work so hard. And but we can't wait to just get back out there and play music, honestly. Europe and the States, we're not just Japan, we're coming for you. Be prepared.
Yeah.
South America, we're coming for you. I know we played just a lot in Europe, but we are working on it. It's expensive. To get to Japan, to get to Australia,
It's really expensive.
dude, it's expensive. I don't have that money to pay for us up front. 30, 45 days, 2 months. We're going to be in Europe for 3 months this year. Do you know how expensive that is? 3 hotel rooms every single day when we're on the road. I have where people are supposed to cover accommodations, but in the States they don't. I don't have that money. Thank goodness I go on the road with the guys. If we had somebody else, we would need 4 hotel rooms. That's why I don't pay myself, because at least I can go on the road. If I'm doing all the work, we don't have to pay me. We don't have to pay for another hotel room, and all that does is put all this on me. And that's on me. That's my fault. But I'm not doing that no more. So please, if you can find it in your heart, even if you can't help with a donation, please share. Maybe that helps us. We're gonna go to our shows. Please share our shows. Share the GoFundMe. Share our shows, and help us get back on the road. I do have some merch. I don't have a lot. If I can find a place that can help us to do, what do you call it? Pre-orders. And help us. I don't have the money to buy the merch up front like I've done all these years. I lost our store because they deleted, accidentally, all my designs were deleted from the store. So now I need another store. It's hard for me because I can't go and do my research and find it. So if somebody knows, I would love to put the merch out. Help us. The merch helps us to get us on the road. That's what I used to help with expenses before. It doesn't pay all your expenses, but it helps. But I have limited edition vinyl. You want some limited edition? I got that. I've been saving it. You know, if you guys want that too. We're on Twitch. Follow us on Twitch. Me and Delvon. I'm under Delvon Lamarr Organ Trio. Delvon is under his, Delvon Lamarr. We go on to all these DJs. DJ what? DJ
Retro Soul.
Retro
Big
Soul.
Stove.
Big Stove. We'll put some of this
DJ
up for you
Josie
guys.
Styles.
DJ Josie Styles. You know, we go on there, say hi. They've been so amazing.
DJ Epic.
And they've been sharing our GoFundMe. We're so blessed to have such amazing people. And over here in Indiana, we have the most amazing neighbors. You know, Connor and Klein has been absolutely amazing. They're part of our GoFundMe, trying to help us. Even Nicholas, poor Nicholas Kazonas. He's been so sick. Me and him are like twins. We're like having the same medical issues. And it's trying not to share mine because I know he needs help. Our dog just died. Now his dog just died. He has a lot of the same health problems that I do. He's in the hospital. I'm in the hospital. The same day, we both had car accidents. I was on the side of the road because of my losing consciousness. He had a hit by a DUI. So if you know who he is, please show some love for him as well. Church Health. We played with Church Health in Memphis, Tennessee. You know, Delvon is an artist. Here he is fighting hard to try to get for his biopsy and get into these doctors. And we have to pay for everything up front. How do you do that when you don't have money? I have to make sure we have money for health. I can make sure we have money to pay our bills. We're sitting here in -6 degrees. Got to make sure we have heat. Got to make sure our dog gets the help that she needs and gets her shots for food. So all the money that you guys have given us has gone to that to help us so far. But we're out. The bank took we were -1,300. We were -900. All my yearly, what do you call it? Yearly, for the business, I pay for everything.
Auto pays.
Our auto pays, they're yearly. They all just came through at the end of December and January. So that is massive. My business emails. Our phone, we still have to pay our phone. The business phone is like $307 a month. It just goes on and on and on, unfortunately. All stuff that we're normally fine, by the way. Pre-pandemic, we were totally fine. The pandemic just changed us.
Yeah, that's the thing is
That's it. Snowball effect.
It was complete snowball effect that we never quite recovered from. It's like it started getting better, and then it just started getting disastrous, and it just kept snowballing. And like she was saying, with all the when the transmission went out of our tour van, and we had the engine problem. He said it was an engine misfire, and Booker T. Little passing away. All that stuff happened within, 2 months, 3 months? Less than 3 months? And that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, we were already struggling at that point, but that was that just kind of did it.
And if you own a business, you know your business doesn't stop. You have business expenses that just keep on going. Your business still has to run even if you are not working. You know, I have lawyers. I have 3 lawyers. You know, all those lawyers, I still owe money to my lawyers. You got taxes. You got your bookkeeper. You got your accountant. You know, that's just naming some of the stuff. You know, my first priority to pay everybody. My first priority when we get paid is pay my artists. You know, the booking agency takes their fee. You know, we ran out of merch, so we had nothing to sell when we went to our shows. It's just hard. It's really hard, but I don't want to keep on doing. It's a long video because how do you share with people? You know, it's hard for us because Delvon doesn't want to do it. He's not good at this stuff. He just doesn't want to do it. It's already hard enough for him to figure out and be there for me because it's hard for him. It's a lot. Like my health issues, we've been together 18 years. My health issues started 17 years ago. 17. And that stuff I can share later. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, I'm going to share my story. There's a lot of people sitting there wanting to talk about my story. They don't know my story. But I'm going to share my story with everyone if they're interested. And I have a pretty crazy story. But it's going to make...
It's pretty fascinating.
I have a pretty crazy story. Not in a good way, but actually there's a lot of good about my story. And I'm going to share it. I'm going to actually... Can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm going to start a TikTok. And I'm going to share my autobiography through TikTok. I will not have no comments on because I'm only there to share my story. I'm not there to compare myself. Nobody's story is ever considered worse or better than someone else's. It's not there to for any pity. It's not there for any kind of trolls or get people to say something. It's not there to make people feel, I don't know if I said that, worse or better. It's just there to share because I think I need to release it. I've been talking to my life coach about it, my counselor, for therapists and doctors, and they even agree. I'm ready to live my life and be happy. It's finally time for me to invest in myself as much as I've invested in everyone else. Because all I've done my whole life is take care of everyone else and not me. And now I'm listening because my body is forcing me to listen. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that know what I mean. So I don't have a choice, and I'm ready. And I'm finally ready to speak. And actually, it's because this man over here has been telling me for many years. So he
Just
finally,
like
yeah.
You were telling me,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
let me take over your career.
Yeah. It took me many years to get him to let me. Since 2006, when we met in July, I've been telling him that I can take over his career because I saw on our third date the value in this man and who he should have been and who he should be. And it took me many years to build his confidence and tell him every single time he played and listen to what he wanted and what he needed and just watching him. I already knew. I've always have known, and I still know. Until he takes this last breath, I know he needs to be playing music. And for me, I want to sit there and know that everything I've went through in my life has a purpose. And that purpose is I'm trying to heal the world through music and to not take my last breath without everything I'm going through to be in vain and for something good. But anyway, sorry for the length of this video. This is it. Please, if you can help us, because we can't afford to be homeless and be able to get to my doctors. We just moved here in August, and we've been sitting here for months with no income. The little bit of income you make, paying for bills and expenses doesn't help us. And we already moved to be central, be closer to doctors, to the Mayo Clinic. It's a lot easier for us to travel all over to play our shows because now we're central. We're very close to Chicago Airport, to be able to go to Europe, to travel anywhere throughout the United States. I found ways to help us to keep expenses down, but it doesn't help us when we don't have any income. And the money is going to be coming. We will be fine. Starting, maybe more April, but we're ready to be back full time, like in March, moving April for sure. And you guys will see a lot of us. And we can't wait to see you guys. And thank you guys personally, for anybody that's helped us. And we are going to give back. We promise. That's what we do. But I'm done.
Yeah. What she said.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
So grateful.
Thank you for supporting. And just in case you guys didn't get the memo, I'm Delvon Lamarr of the Delvon Lamarr Organ Trio. What up, y'all?
Oh, we didn't introduce. So I'm Amy Nova, aka Shortcake.
We gotta put her on camera.
And this is my little doggy.
Come here, you
Shortcake.
giant monster of a doggy, you.
She's only 7 months old, and she has grown dramatically.
And she's very shocking. Like, she generates a lot of static electricity, so I'm trying not to get electrocuted playing with you right now.
But she's absolutely amazing. She's so loving. She shows us all equal love.
She is not this calm neither, too, by the way.
So she's being very calm right now.
She's kind of a nut job.
But my goal is to get her trained, because with my hypoglycemia going in our consciousness, I just can't afford the training. She's young now. It would be nice. And to take her on the road so you guys can all meet her and she can be there for me, because she'd be able to sense when I'm really sick. She's already done that a couple of times, but she's really young. But she's so beautiful and she's so amazing, and you guys are going to love her. But we miss Booker T. We miss him a lot. And you guys have all met him, and he's still with us in spirit. But anyway, thank you very much.
All right, y'all.
Please share.
Peace.